Last one in, field in line for the 84th running of the RGR Jamaica St. Ledger. They're off, 10 furlongs ahead of them. Life is Just for Living breaks well on the rail. Classy Prospect and Global Warming with him. Mark My Word is running right up with the front end early. Heart of a Champion is just in behind the leading group, followed up by Willingston, and Prince Rohan kept off the pace by Shatry. Life is Just for Living on the rail, a narrow leader. Classy Prospect on the outside along with Mark My Word. Global Warming cuts the corner. Heart of a Champion and Williston race next, and Prince Rohan is at the back as Life is Just for Living sets very moderate fractions on the run toward the back stretch, leading up by a length and a piece. Global Warming reserved there in second. Willingston and Classy Prospect next. There goes Mark My Word edging closer. Heart of a Champion is racing some 7 lengths off that lead, and a break back to Prince Rohan as they've taken the back stretch and run away with 6 furlongs. Life is Just for Living maintains the lead by almost 2 lengths over Global Warming. Willingston now begins to pick up and joins Global Warming. They share second. Mark My Word overtaking Classy Prospect on the outside. Then Heart of a Champion, and the gap opens up to Prince Rohan. He'll have to run at them late as they run away toward the half mile. Life is Just for Living attempting to go gate to wire in the Ledger, leaves the half mile with the lead. Global Warming in close attendance. Mark My Word and Classy Prospect now asked to pick it up. In behind them Williston, 6 off the front end. A length back to Heart of a Champion, and a driven Prince Rohan at the back, but Mark My Word now challenges the leader. Life is Just for Living, and Life is Just for Living in a tussle for it. Global Warming left back on the rail. Further back to Classy Prospect and Heart of a Champion, but Mark My Word now snatches the lead at the furlong pole from Life is Just for Living, and Mark My Word is opening up. Could we have another Triple Crown winner here at Caymanaspark? It will be the 16th in Jamaica, the 10th at Caymanaspark, and Mark My Word wins the Triple Crown. Life is Just for Living once again settles for second. Prince Rohan comes running on for third. Global Warming is fourth.
First presentation being made by Mr. Gary Allen, Managing Director, RGR Communications Group, to the winning owner, Dr. Graham Brown, representing Elite Bloodstock. Or Richard Azan Jr. representing his father, the winning trainer. Mr. Francois Saint-Just, General Manager, Radio Services RGR, presents to the representative of the winning breeder, Robert Pearson, representing Ham Stables Limited. Representing the winning jockey, Mrs. Andrea Massam, Director of Finance, RGR Group, to Mileda Zan. And finally, Mr. Stephen Gregg, Company Secretary and Attorney at Law, presents to Monica Zan, on behalf of the winning groom, Danville Smith. Congratulations. Mark My Word and all your connections. Triple Crown winner 2010. Horses entering the track for the final event, race number 11, named for Nightcap. 6.5 furlongs, restricted allowance, 2 native bred 3-year-olds, non-winners of 2, and a field of
Goes into gate 10. Waiting on one, Erasmo. And Erasmo giving some problems to slip into gate 12. The rest wait patiently. Now Erasmo enters. Field in line for the 85th running of the Boom Energy, Jamaica St. Ledger. And now Technomoto, giving problems in gate 4. Looks to have settled. Cardenas. Waiting on Technomoto. And now he remounts. Anxious moments for all. They're off for the St. Ledger. Technomoto gets a good start with Jet Setter and Nefala's expense as they leave the mile marker. In behind those, that's Erasmo and Cold Ground left at the back. Continuing to run the clubhouse turn, the final part of it, and they now arrive at the 7, and it's Nefal with that lead. Sweet Trail moving up now to tackler. Technomoto racing down on the rail, hidden in between them. That's Luscious as they take to the back stretch. Right marker is 6 lengths off that lead. Commanding Chief kept to the outside of Jet Setter in the red as they go slipping past the 6. Caridad has some work to do. So too Big Man Boyu now asked to accelerate on the outside. Awesome Wildcat races up next. A gap to Erasmo and Cold Ground best forgotten as they now run past the file remaining. There goes Big Man Boyu with an aggressive rush on the outside. Commanding Chief in a good spot right there. And these are the main contenders as they now run toward the 3, and Big Man Boyu has taken charge. Technomoto being ridden down on the inside. Commanding Chief looking a threat as they make their way. Passing the 5/16th, it's a Big Man Boyu. He'll turn into the lane. Commanding Chief now on his outside, and the race is on in the Ledger. And it's Commanding Chief with the advantage over Big Man Boyu. Commanding Chief and Paul Francis, they run toward the furlong pole. Big Man Boyu attempts a rally, switch to the outside. Jet Setter further back along with Caridad. Erasmus shaken up in between horses. Cold Ground has made good ground from the back, but it's Commanding Chief, his 3rd run and his 3rd win, and he takes a classic. It's the St. Ledger. It's close. Cold Ground looks to snatch second from Big Man Boyu, Caridad, then Erasmo and Jet Setter. Earl Chestnut Gelding is by War Marshal. She Knows Bo by Bo Genius. Bred Paul Chen, own Doc Stable. Train Everett Francis, the rider Paul Francis. Rider off My Beirut. And My Beirut will be the final one to load at gate 15. Beirut is in. Rider climbs aboard. Field in line for the 2018 St. Leger, sponsored by Sagicor Bank. Starter ready. They're off for the St. Leger. Uncle Honey and Innovator break well, with Commander 2 moving swiftly in the early stages. On the far side, Azaria is there with Drummer Boy on the rail. My Beirut nearest to us. Trickster joins the leading group as they make their way now toward the clubhouse turn and the mile pole. Commander 2 looks to be setting those fractions. Disability Charm moving close up near the rail. Uncle Honey on the outside now slips down into second over Disability Charm. Trickster and Marquesas race together. Joan Strike is several lengths off that lead. There goes Axelrod and Feiruz teaming up with Innovator. My Beirut in behind them. Contractor is there as they lead the 7th. Further back to Sun and Azaria. They're tracked by Royal Aviator and Drummer Boy Hellbunch. Axelrod races up with Royal Aviator. Azaria asked to overtake on the rail. Contractor is next. Then Innovator, My Beirut, and the Drummer Boy making some progress as the leaders arrive at the half mile. Sun races toward the back, and Trickster is left out of it, and Best Forgotten, but Marquesas has now moved into that lead and slips away by maybe 10 lengths over Commander 2 as they leave the 3. Marquesas has made a big move. 5/16 the run. Can they catch Marquesas? Commander 2 is several lengths in behind in the distance. Feiruz and Contractor will be asked for every effort. Joan Strike, the Derby winner, going no. The rider changes his stick to the left hand. Off furlong to catch Marquesas, and the rest are tiny dots in his mirrors as they run past the 16th pole. It is Marquesas coming away. Marquesas will take it from Mikey Marlowe and Shane Ellis. Feiruz will be second over My Beirut. Then Azaria. Drummer Boy is 5th. In the winner's enclosure, the unofficial winner of the 92nd running of the Jamaica St. Leger, sponsored by Sagicor Bank, number 4 Marquesas, a 3-year-old bay colt by Coded Warning, is La Morada by Devongate, bred Franz Jobson, owned Epic Group, trained Michael Marlowe, the rider Shane Ellis. Second 12, Feiruz. Third 15, My Beirut. Fourth 2, Azaria. Fifth 1, Drummer Boy. Running time 2000. Result, now official. Horses to the testing barn. 2, Azaria. 4, $115 to win. 68 to place. Second, 12, Feiruz, 101. Third, 15, My Beirut, 429. Fourth, 2, Azaria. Fifth 1, Drummer Boy. Trifecta, 1,961. Exacta 553. Quinella 284. Double event 242. The superfecta 83,448. One high five 111,904. 487 triples, 366 each. Splits 24-3, 50 and 4/5, 116-2, 142-1. 2,000 meters or 10 furlongs raced in 2 minutes 10. The margins 18 by 1 1/4.
Superfecta wagering at Saratoga approaching.
Tony Cain. So too Raven Renee. Field in line for the 88th running of the Jamaica St. Leger, the final classic of the season. They're off for the St. Leger. Raven Renee gets a good start wide. Talented Tony K bounces easy, passing us for the first time. She's plummy in between horses. Blackthorn is racing out wide as they enter the clubhouse turn with just over a mile to run. Relampago in a very handy spot early. Raven Renee races further back ahead of Bold Aviator and Israelite at the back of the field as Talented Tony K now holds the advantage over Blackthorn, applying some pressure on his outside. These two eye to eye as they run past the 7 and take to the backstretch. A break of 6 backs to Relampago. She's plummy racing on the outside of Raven Renee. Bold Aviator looks at these, and in behind them, the trailer, Israelite. Down the back stretch in the Leger, they go past the 6, and it's a Talented Tony K now beginning to emerge with that lead by a half a length. As they run away toward the final 5/8 of a mile, Blackthorn continues to stick to him. A break back to Relampago, that one will be running late as usual. Raven Renee a length in behind him. 4 lengths back to Bold Aviator. Then she's plummy, and Israelite showing some very slow. As they arrive at the 5/16th, it's a Talented Tony K. He won the 2,000 guineas, got beaten the Derby, is into the lane in the Leger, and Raven Renee moves alongside for the challenge, and Raven Renee now picks up the lead. Here is Relampago on the rail. Talented Tony K fading back on the outside. Blackthorn can't match the first 3. Raven Renee with that lead. Relampago now gets going onto the left-hand stick, and now the Derby winner explodes over on the rail inside the final 16th. It's Relampago and Raven Renee, and Relampago takes the Leger. Raven Renee is second. Blackthorn is in the winner's enclosure, the unofficial winner of the 88th running of the Jamaica St. Leger, sponsored by ICWI Limited. Number 3, Relampago, a 3-year-old bay colt by Seeking the Glory Jetish by Eltish. Red Orange Valley Estates Limited, owned Elias Salute. Trade Anthony Nunes, the rider Shane Ellis. A second 7, Raven Renee. Third 6, Blackthorn. Fourth 2, Talented Tony K. Running time, 2,000 meters, 2 minutes, 12 and 2. Cheek pieces, he's loaded. Waiting on Will in Charge. The final of the 9 runners. Will in Charge, turning sideways. Now Will in Charge loads. Field in line for the 90th running of the ISP-sponsored Jamaica St. Leger, final classic of the season. They're all set to go. They're off for the St. Leger. Orpheus took off quickly. Nuclear Affair runs the rail, 1,000 stars right alongside with Orpheus, Jamai Raja. Big Daddy Cool taken off the splits. Bix to Do It Better overtakes him with Future King attached to his outside. Penelope racing one from the back. Will in Charge is last. They're heading into that clubhouse turn, just over a mile to run, 1,000 stars, and Jamai Raja chart the course. Nuclear Affair is very early on the rail. Orpheus right behind them and running in 4th spot. Big Daddy Cool races near the fence, overtaken narrowly by Future King. Mr. Do It Better on the tail end of that group. Then Penelope and Will in Charge improving a tiny bit, with Mr. Do It Better in behind him, and Penelope is last. They're about to leave the back stretch. They make their way now to the half mile. The tempo should increase, and Orpheus does it and goes on into that lead, trying to slip away. Nuclear Affair chasing a length back in second. Jamai Raja has had enough. There goes Big Daddy Cool. He goes hunting up those leaders. Will in Charge races up next. A break back to 1,000 stars. Mr. Do It Better, Penelope, and Future King. Something must be awry is at the back of the field and showing no progress as the field leave the 5/16th. Big Daddy Cool is on the rail in the yellow cap. Orpheus on the outside. Orpheus has that. Orpheus is in the center, and something has gone wrong with Orpheus, and Big Daddy Cool looks to be handed the race, and Big Daddy Cool begins to come away from them. Big Daddy Cool inside the final 16. Fortunate Big Daddy Cool wins by a huge margin. Will in Charge on the rail runs on to be second over Nuclear Affair and Penelope. In the winner's enclosure, the unofficial winner this year, as you know, Willie Goldsmith won the 2,000 guineas. The Derby went to Perfect Neighbour. He's looking to have his second classic in the bag here if he can. Uncle Taff will be doing everything to deny him. Andre Martin. They're in. Field and line for the Jamaica St. Leger, sponsored by Boom Energy Drink. They're all set. They're off for the St. Leger. Perfect Neighbour gets a good start, so too Uncle Taff. Willie Goldsmith and Rum Punch over on the far side, jostling for their positions as they come rushing past us for the first time. Willie Goldsmith out in front narrowly over Uncle Taff. Rum Punch tracks them back in third. Princess Sassy was on the rail, beginning to fade back a bit, overtaken by Perfect Neighbour. Lady Abijita is right there too. Selector Book toward the outside. Down against the rail, Royal Vibes has made good progress as the leaders head away now toward the 7 and the back stretch. Willie Goldsmith leads up by a head. Uncle Taff right there on the outside. Rum Punch further back and in third spot. They run toward the far side. Perfect Neighbour has a lot of catching up to do along with the Royal Vibes and Selector Book. Are beginning to make progress. Royal Vibes further back. Attached to the outside. Selector Book. Hovercraft now looking to slip in between them. A break back to Sir Frederick. Then Lady Abijita and Princess Sassy trails the Leger field as they leave the half mile and are about to arrive at the 7/16th. Willie Goldsmith, Uncle Taff caught now by Perfect Neighbour, and he makes his move as they leave the 3. Perfect Neighbour picks up the lead in the St. Leger and begins to run away from them, arriving at the 5/16th. Rum Punch will be asked to close in second. Hovercraft making progress toward the outside. Uncle Taff looks to have cried enough with Willie Goldsmith. Selector Book will have to run on, but it's Perfect Book and Rum Punch, but it's Perfect Neighbour. The stick switched in the left hand by Dick Cardenas. A 16th remaining. He looks to have slipped the field in the Leger. They're not going to catch him, and under a perfect ride, Perfect Neighbour wins the Leger. Selector Book is second. Hovercraft third. Rum Punch fourth. In the winner's enclosure, the unofficial winner of the 87th running of the Boom Energy Jamaica St. Leger. Number 5, Perfect Neighbour, the Derby winner. A 3-year-old bay colt by Natural Selection, Desperate Housewife by Ghost Ransom. Red Wires, 1955 Limited. Owned Alfred Lee and Jeffrey Mordecai. The second win on the card for Wayne DaCosta and Dick Cardenas. Second 7, Selector Book. Third 10, Horses going to the testing barn. 3, Princess Sassy. 4, Uncle Taff. 5, Perfect Neighbour. 7, Selector Book. 3, 4, 5, and 7 all go to the testing barn.
Yo, Boggy, it's hard now, like, it's a London thing.
She's traditional. They try to load her in gate 3. Now she loads and the rider climbs aboard. That's Amith Robles. In gate 5. Next will be Amanda Panda, then Raging Prospect. All correct. Loading wide in gate 10. Sir Mandy is in. Philistia will be the last to load. Up to gate 11, Philistia. We have a clear track for the St. Leger. Philistia in. Field in line for the 86th running of the Jamaica St. Leger, sponsored by Boom. They're off for the St. Leger. Fair start. Uncle Donnie gets away on the far side with Typewriter for company. She's traditional, racing upright with them as they'll pass us for the first time. Starflyer kept just off the fractions. Aventura racing in behind with Amanda Panda, held back in third. Uncle Donnie racing in fourth. These are strung out. Then we have a group of horses all correct on the outside. Raging Prospect, Aventura almost hidden from view in between them. Philistia right there too. A break of 3 lengths opens up to Sir Mandy. A gap to Time for Arms. And last of all, it's Amanda Panda as the Leger field make their way down the back stretch and head toward the 5. She's traditional, caught now by Starflyer. She makes her bid for it, and Starflyer now slips into the lead as they leave the 5/8 pole. She's traditional, a length back in second. Typewriter begins his run and gets closer all the while. Uncle Donnie and All Correct with Aventura also ask for an effort as they now arrive. 3.5 lengths opens up to Aventura. Uncle Donnie alongside. All Correct needs to find maybe 6 lengths to get to them. A gap of 4 opens up to Raging Prospect, and the rest are all struggling, inclusive of Philistia, as the leaders turn for home. The brave Starflyer battling the Derby winner Typewriter, their heads apart as they drive inside the final quarter. Griffiths lets Aventura loose on the outside. Uncle Donnie racing just in behind them, but Typewriter has now taken charge at the furlong pole. It's Typewriter. He won the Derby and looks good now in the Leger. Starflower is over on the far rail. She's running the race of her life. Uncle Donnie in the center with Aventura out wide. It's Typewriter with a 2.5 length lead over Uncle Donnie, and Typewriter takes the Leger in fine style over Uncle Donnie. Then Starflyer, Aventura. In the winner's enclosure, the unofficial winner of the 86th running of the Jamaica St. Leger, sponsored by Boom Energy. Number 1, Typewriter, 3-year-old Bear Gelding by Western Classic, Doc's Paladin by Boundary. Bredham Stables Limited, owned Robert F. Chung and W.P. Valentine Chung. Trained Spencer Chung, the rider Shane Ellis. Second, 2, Uncle Donnie. Third to 4, Starflyer. Fourth, 5, Aventura. Running time, 2,000 meters, 2 minutes 10 and 1. Horses going to the testing barn, 1 typewriter, 2 Uncle Donny, 7 Raging Prospect, 9 Time for Arms. 1, 2, 7 and 9 all go to the testing barn. Result now official. The first 5 belt in, 1991st running of the Jamaica St. Leger. And Fearless Samurai rears the rider, hopping off. He'll reclaim his seat. Field in line once again. There goes Thornhill Miss. Michael Sims. They're off for the 91st running of the Jamaica St. Leger. Thornhill Miss gets a good start far side with Paper Chaser. Great Faith is also running pretty quickly as they pass the judges for the first time. There goes Fearless Samurai now moving up to set the fractions. From Great Faith in second, Thornhill Miss settled on the rail. Proud of Nuclear races out wide. She's a Manita now getting into position in between horses running just off the rail. Sotomayor is earlier this day and is moving down quickly on the rail as Fearless Samurai and a Thornhill Miss set the splits. Sotomayor and Great Faith team up in behind. She's a Manita taken off the fractions and running smoothly as they make their way toward the 7. A gap opens up to Subby. Market Force follows up with Proud of Nuclear. Then Paper Chaser racing down on the rail. Rising Bop on the outside. Uncle Vinny tacked onto the tail end of that group and forget Silence at the moment. They settle down now on the back stretch. They've left the 6 and run toward the 5. Fearless Samurai and Thornhill Miss take each out of Nuclear. Paper Chaser races next, and toward the back of the field it's Silence, but they've left now the 7/16th and run toward the 3. Thornhill Miss and Fearless Samurai. Here comes She's a Man-Eater asked to gobble them up on the outside. She's racing 3 wide as they leave the 5/16th. They're about to come into the lane in the final classic of the season, and the filly She's a Man-Eater has now taken charge. She's a Man-Eater trying to join the likes of Money Moon as they run toward the furlong pole. Simply Magic and El Safra. Can she take the Triple Crown? She's opening up on Fearless Samurai. They're not going to stop. Market Force is second. Sotomayor third. Fearless Samurai is fourth. In the winner's enclosure, the unofficial winner of the 91st running of the Jamaica St. Leger. The Triple Crown winner, number 2, She's a Man-Eater. A 3-year-old bay filly by Natural Selection, a Hoofa by Royal Minister. Bred Winston Allen Kong. Also the owner, Trainwind Acosta OD, the rider Omar Walker. And Fearless Samurai, 5th one, Thornhill Miss. Running time, 2 minutes 8 and 2. Result of the 11th now official. Horses going to the testing barn. 1, Thornhill Miss. 2, She's a Man-Eater. 3, Sotomayor. 9, Market Force. So 1, 2, 3, and 9 all go to the testing barn, dividends. First 2, She's a Man-Eater. $64 to win, 54 to place. Second 9, Market Force, 63. St. Ledger. Southern Cruise in, field in line for the St. Ledger. Superluminal, a bit anxious to go, settled. Ballon d'Or the same. This is closest to us as they pass us for the first time and settle down. They head toward that clubhouse turn. Alibaba and Shining Light matching strides, computerized just 3 wide. Toward the outside of horses, that's Merlin. Ballon d'Or races just in behind that leading group. Southern Cruise is asked to make some ground, overtaken by Seeking My Dream. Cronus in between horses with Superluminal. A break back to Shine, an Original Train is at the back of the field as they pass the 7 and make their way now toward the back stretch in the Ledger. Shining Light has now picked up that lead. Alibaba settled back, overtaken by Merlin now moving down into second. Seeking My Dream edging closer all the while. Computerized in between horses and almost hidden from view at this stage. Ballon d'Or is making ground toward the outside of runners along with Superluminal, then Cronus. Southern Cruise is right there too, traveling powerfully. Original Train is next, a long way off it, along with the trailer Shine. They run away toward the final 5 in the... Alibaba has a lot to do from there toward the outside of horses. That's Southern Cruise. These are the main contenders as they come into the lane. Just about a quarter of a mile to go, and Superluminal is testing Seeking My Dream, the Derby winner. Seeking My Dream and Superluminal going at it. Alibaba asked to close up over toward the far side. Cronus is there along with Southern Cruise, but Superluminal now picks up the lead from Seeking My Dream. Alibaba not closing fast enough. Superluminal, can this be an upset? Seeking My Dream battling back on the inside rail under a ride from Walker. They drive toward the line. Superluminal continues. In the winner's enclosure, the unofficial winner of the Jamaica St. Ledger, sponsored by ISP Finance Services Limited, number 10, Superluminal, a 3-year-old bay colt by natural selection, 1,000 Hills by Peaks and Valleys, bred Wyeth, 1955 Limited, owned PJK team, train Harry Passard, the rider Paul Francis. Second 9, Seeking My Dream. Third 5, Southern Cruise. Fourth 1, Alibaba, we await fifth. Stewards Inquiry. Fifth place goes to number 7, Cronus. Stewards Inquiry, and now we're seeing an objection on the board. Hold all tickets. Receives.